Hello and welcome. My name is Teresa, and in today's video I thought I would create a card using items from this classic Christmas kit. This is a kit that I purchased from the Enchanted Cottage in Louisville, North Carolina when I visited there over this summer, and I finally got around to creating something with it, and I wanted to take you through the process with me. So this is it. This is just the insert that came with it. And what I liked is it gave you a lot of different ideas. Oh, here's the barcode in case you're curious. Let me hold that up there. So it's 10003530506. And again, I picked this up from the Enchanted Cottage in Louisville, North Carolina. I did do a video from everything that I bought that day, and it's on my video, The Enchanted Cottage Designer Paper Haul and More. So anyhow, let's get back to this one. With these pictures, something drew me to this set, and it was something that I saw on this picture. Now there's a lot of them that I really liked, and I knew that I probably wouldn't be doing some of the shading techniques that they did, but that's okay. Again, you can see something that catches your eye and then tweak it, and that's exactly what I did. And I'm not going to just show you up front what I did. It is off to the side, but we're going to let it evolve in front of your eyes. So let's get that out of the way. The first thing you're going to need, oh, wait a minute, actually, before I get started. Okay, so the title is Stamping and Sipping with Tea, and the tea was a play on the fact that my name is Teresa, begins with a T, and also that my favorite drink is iced tea. I'm rarely without it. I have gone from sweetened iced tea to unsweetened iced tea, but that's a whole other video. But I have recently been frequenting a tea room in our city, and look, let me tell you, this is probably the most delicious tea, warm tea I've ever had. So it's from True Honey, and this is their chai flavor. It is so perfectly sweetened with the honey. You do not need to add sugar. It's got such a wonderful flavor. I love it. And they do have a website. No, I'm not a sponsor or anything. I just really love this. The website is www.truehoneyteas.com. So if you're looking for a new hot tea to try, can I recommend that? All right, let's get that off to the side. Now, let's start looking at some of the supplies we'll need. I'm going to make this card out of the Stampin' Up! Cardstock Soft Succulent. It's one of their new in colors. So this piece measures 4 1/4 by 11, and we will need to score it on the 11-inch side. I mean, you don't have to. You can certainly fold it in half yourself, but this score mark really helps make a perfect crease. So that's the 11-inch side, so I'm scoring it at 5 1/2. Just like that, just to get it started. Put that off to the side. Yes, Leo is here. He has already jumped up on something. Hopefully, now our videos are, I turn on the camera and I go. There's no editing done whatsoever, obviously. Probably bothers some of you. I mean, editing would make it a lot better, trust and believe, but it is what it is. Okay, so we have our base card done. Then you will need a piece of off-white cardstock. This is not my white cardstock. As a matter of fact, this is not Stampin' Up! Cardstock. All I have, where I store my paper, I have like tags. It says it's Dove White. Who it is, I don't know, but it's not a bright white. Anyhow, this will measure 4 by 5 1/4, and this is going to be our insert. Okay, so we're building up our layers. The next thing you'll need is a piece that measures 4 1/4 by 1 inch. We're going to do something fancy with that. You're also going to need some metallic paper or metallic cardstock. This is and it might not show up very well. This is sort of a bronze color, and then I also used a lightly brushed gold color, and I know it's not going to reflect, but using 2 different colors of the metallics, it's just going to help make the snowflake that we're going to create pop a little bit more. I wished I had, in addition to the gold, like a shimmery gold. I think that would have been perfect, but I'm using what I have. As I think I've shown you before, I keep all scraps of everything. Oh, okay, well, this is an example of what I was talking about. So if I was doing it in silver, see, this is more like a brushed or a solid kind of silver, and this one has that iridescent sparkle. So if this was a silver snowflake I was doing, I would cut 2 using those, and when you layer them, it just offers some contrast and a little extra pop. Saw that on someone's video and I really liked it. Okay, one of the pieces from the kit, let me pull that picture back up into play, is this long panel here. And I don't create those long, slim cards, but that didn't stop me because I knew I could still use this some other way. This is a rather long die. So make sure, I still have the old Big Shot. It still works, it's beat up, but whatever. And it will fit on that. Oops, let's turn it. See, I'm telling you, it's all messed up and mucked up, but that will fit. So I was able to cut it using that Dove White cardstock. Now, if you cut your paper just right, by sheer accident, look at that. If I did slim light cards, I don't know if that would fit or not, but because of how this overall size of my paper, I wound up cutting out a really cool frame. What would I do with it? I don't know, but I thought I'd show you. So let's move this out of the way. I did run this through first to save time, and I went ahead and again to save time, poked out most of these, but we'll just go ahead and finish it up right here. Again, this pick tool, I like it. I think it's fun. And your crafting should be fun. It's not just, oh, I got to get up there and make something for somebody. No, this is an art form. This is an artistic expression. So enjoy the process. And if it takes something as simple as this little pick tool, hey, get yourself one. All right, so we have that piece and we're just about ready to get started assembling some of the pieces. I'm going to put that off to the side. The first thing I wanted to do is I did want to emboss this. So let me go ahead and bring over my embossing supplies. Okay, I am looking for something. I'm sorry. I know I had done that ahead of time. It never fails. It never ever fails. Okay, maybe I'll find it as it goes along. Okay, so you do want a piece of your cardstock, and it should measure. Let's get the right one. 1 inch by 4 1/4. And if you have one of these embossing buddy powdery things, you will find this will come in super handy. It helps just to make sure that your embossing powder does not stick where you do not want it to stick. What I'm looking for is because I had pre-done a sheet and I can't find it now. It never fails. It just never fails. Because I hate leaving you guys to go do something, but it looks like I might have to if I don't find this soon. Anyhow, one of the other things that came in this kit were some sentiments. All right, they don't have them here. But when I was looking at the sentiments, I was looking for something where there was some space in the letters so that when I embossed it, it would show. So I'm using the Joyful Wishes, and here's all the rest of them. And I do have it mounted on a Stampin' Up block. It's block H. And using the Versamark, I just want to load it up with that Versamark. And then eyeball this to put it right. If this is out of camera shot, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to center it. And apply some pressure. And I promise you, I had already done this. And where is it? I don't know. So that means I'm going to have to leave you guys for a second. No, I found it. I just found it. Whew. Anyhow, the reason I do these ahead of time is because I don't like to go off camera and go over there and use the heat tool. There's lots of videos on using them, and I think I've addressed it in one of my other ones, but I just didn't want to do that here. So what I'm doing is I'm just throwing some of this gold embossing powder right over it, and we're going to shake it off, tap it off, okay? And then you would take it and you would, using your heat tool, you're going to apply the heat to that, and what it does is it will set up. And here's the one that is done. La la, did that. I knew I had it somewhere. Look at that, isn't that pretty? So our pieces are coming together. Now, I had done a previous card, and I don't want to show it to you. I'm gonna hold it off for a second, but the card I did that I worked this design out with, I had used this teardrop die, and that would be this one right here. And I'll show you that card at the end. But for this card, I wanted to do something a little bit different because I wanted to double up my snowflakes on this card. And so I'm using the round one, and I cut out my ornament using the soft succulent. So I have that there. Then it also comes with this little piece right here where you can create the hook part for your ornament. Now what I did is I took that and I ran it through my Big Shot, and you'll get 3 of them. Now watch this. I'm gonna pull these into view. Okay, so where'd that other one go? There it is. So the beauty of this is never waste anything. Look, that came out. So what I wanted to do was pop out those little circles on the inside and try not to lose them, because with my luck, it'll drop right on my lap. Okay, so let's pop out the last one. 2 just fell out on their own, but that one I had to pop out. So I have 3 of these. And instead of pulling out my embellishments, I know, I'm going to use these 3 pieces. I only need 1 of those. Let's put these off to the side. So I will need this. Okay, let's go ahead and pop those down. I better put those over here before I lose them. Now, I was telling you that I used 2 different metallics to do the ornaments, and that is true. I took this snowflake, this die here, and this snowflake, and that, it might not show up on this camera, like that's in the gold, that's in the bronze. And then this snowflake I cut out using a gold. And the lighting might not be showing it. Look at all the stuff you have too, isn't that wonderful? The lighting might not be showing it, but I'm thinking when I double it up, it's gonna look really pretty. So now let me reach right in front of you and get the Tombow glue. And we're going to start applying this stuff. So the hook part is not going to be on the ornament. So I'm just going to apply as light a layer of glue as I can. And you get better with this as you go along. First couple of times I was trying to do this real delicate stuff. I was like, how do these people do this? The answer, practice. Just practice. And then we're going to, I might have to hold this to get this right in place. Okay, and then hold it for a second and give that glue a chance to set up. Now, I'm going to put this one on first. And again, just putting glue, a good dollop in the center, and then with very light pressure, apply it to as many places as you can. And you don't need a lot of glue because you don't want it seeping out, you know, coming out when you apply it down. And now that I've set it, it still might happen to me, but the aim is to not have that happen to you. And again, the more you work with this Tombow glue, the better you'll get at applying those little tiny pieces. It's about the amount of pressure that you're putting as you're dispensing it. And then I go around these little end points just to put a smidge of glue there. And the other handy tool is this little pincher guy. This says it's from EK Tools. I'm sure I picked it up in a local craft store. Now the trick is to put it somewhere and just apply glue. Let's just grab wherever I can. Okay, do it again. See, you pinch together. And I want this, hopefully I'm not getting too much in your way. I want this. See, I'm moving it too much. That glue's gonna stick through. That's the problem when you're putting a little bit of glue on very small surface areas. You can move it, but your chances of moving it too far and having glue show through, high, really high. Okay, so let's pat that down. And now this one, maybe I should do this first. Work smarter, not harder. Give it a try. It might make all the difference in the world, Teresa. Okay, let's apply some glue on each of the little branches of the snowflake. Now sometimes if you feel like you put just too much glue, give it a second to set up. While that does that, I'll go ahead and close up my glue for a second. Okay, this one might seep out. Now this one, I want these stems to go, these branches to go between those. So again, I'm sorry if this is out of shot. I just want to make sure I line it up as best I can. There we go. And because I know I put a lot of glue on, I'm going to try to be gentle about how much pressure I start putting, because I don't want any of that glue to seep out. See? Oh, just messed it up. Leave it to me. Just leave it, hold it. I know, patience is not my thing. I gotta work on that Is this sticking? It doesn't seem like it wants to stick. Tell you what, let me just force patience on myself. Put that on it. Then I'll have to leave it alone. And let's slide it up out of the way because we want to finish assembling. I'm going to go ahead and get this put on first before I get more glue and stuff on the inside of my hands using my Stamp & Seal Plus. I like to run around all 4 sides, make sure it's nice and secure, and then determine which side. And let's go ahead and get this applied. I always judge at the bottom. I just find it's easier. And then the top will just lay in place. Now, for this design, I thought long and hard about it. I want the top to show, but the bottom I don't need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this down here. And so I don't need all this other stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm just drawing a line. And you can pull out your trimmer if you want, or you can just be bold, be daring, and just cut across. Don't get rid of that. I'm not sure how we can use it, but don't get rid of it because it's really cool. Now, I do have some string. This is just some pretty twine, I guess you would call it. Oh, look, I got it from Target. Woo-hoo. I know I didn't pay $4. Chances are I got it after the season. That's the other tidbit. Go to the craft stores after the holidays. Pick up that stuff. Now, again, we're going to have more glue. I'm sorry, but bear with me. It's not going to be as much glue. I'm going to run a bead of glue along the 3 sides that are still here because I cut off the bottom one. And this part is a little tricky that I'm going to do next for attaching that piece of thread. I did struggle with it a little, mostly because, I don't know, I guess I have thick fingers. And this I feel is like the center. So what I did is let me see, is that in camera? I believe it is. So what I did is using the center part, just trying to get that to go down. And the thing is, I probably should have done that first, given it more drying time, and then applied the rest, but I did not. Fingers crossed. So now, hoping this stays, because I don't have any glue on the inside, I just did the outside. I'm going to eyeball this the hard way and see if I can't get it to apply down as straight as possible to the naked eye. Okay. So far, so good. Don't worry about that. We are going to hide that. Okay, it's coming along. Okay, this part, we're going to fold it over onto itself, and it's probably going to end about there. So I'm going to apply some glue here. Again, not too thick because we don't want it to seep out. I know, handmade cards. People who think they're not a work of art, seriously, they are. Look at the time we put into it, making it just right, because we want the recipient to really enjoy what we've put together for them. Sorry for reaching over you. I had to grab my handy dandy little scissors. If you don't have a small pair of sharp scissors, get yourself a pair. It really does help. Now that's extra. That's actually trash. Now it's time for the placement of the ornament. And here's hoping everything held together just fine. Here's hoping it did. You do have some choices. You can glue it straight down or you can raise it up. On the one I'll show you in just a few minutes, I did glue it straight down. But after I did that, I was like, you know, I probably should have raised it with some stamping dimensionals. Now the stamping dimensionals are from Stamping Up. And I wanted that one right there because I wanted it. The placement of this one right here is on purpose because I want it to help hold down the twine. Okay, and now using the pick tool, let's remove those backings. Okay, there we go. I'm going to apply it right about here, because that's going to be hidden, and you'll see in a second. It doesn't have to be too far above it, but there we go. Now, taking another piece of this twine. I'm going to create a little faux bow. Why? Because this twine actually will separate on its own. See, it already starts to come undone, and it'll create its own little hot mess there. I'll help it along. Let's cut this side. When I say help it along, just help unravel it. And then you can even look at it. You can decide, I think, ahead of time how big you want it to be. Now for this one, I'm going to put on a glue dot. Now, where are my glue dots? Let's see how big this glue dot is. Oh, that's a small glue dot. I think that will work. Come on, glue dot. Come on, glue dot. Get off. I need you to stick to the twine. There we go. Make sure that's there. And then I'm going to put it, you know, because it's almost like when you were hanging up the ornament. I like things a little wonky at this point. Isn't that cute? So far, so good. What do you think? Now, I did promise these guys are going to come into play. So let me bring them in here. This I also want to apply with Stamping Dimensionals. So let's put one here. I'm going to do 3 because this is going across the card. I want to make sure it really holds in place. So let's go ahead and remove this backing from these 3 pieces. We are so close to being done. I think this is such an elegant card. Now for this, because it's the exact same width as the green cardstock, you do want to make sure you get it lined up to the side pretty even. And I want a little of the green at the bottom to show. All right, now I can press it into place. Okay, and this is where these little guys are going to come in handy. So the pick tool again, where is it? Oh, here it is. On the other end of the pick tool, you have, and I'm sure there's a better name for it, but like this gummy thing. So that helps to pick it up. I can apply my little glue dot, my little dot of glue. I think a minuscule glue dot would also work. Now from here, I know, I just like all these little instruments you can play with. Grab it, and I'm going to put this one right there. Squeeze that, release. Nope, it came off on my hand. That did not work the way we want it to. That happens, don't worry about it. There we go. That's it. Okay, so now let's grab the next one. Put our little piece of glue on the end. Now every time off camera when I would apply the glue and remove the glue, that came with it. So that's really why I have this. So I thought, well, the most important thing is better eyesight. Hold on. There we go. And I'm going to go across this way. It's a very vertical card, so I'm going to go horizontal with this. But you do whichever way you want. The other thing that might be pretty, you might not even want to use these things from the punch out, but I liked them. I thought they were really pretty. But maybe you want to put something in all 4 corners. You can decorate it up however you want. Let's get that last one on. I have the other card. It's slightly different, and I did something a little different that after I did it, I wasn't so sure I liked it, so I get to show you. It really is about personal preference. You'll see somebody do something, and you're like, I would do that, except here I would do this, and that's wonderful. I like it when you draw inspiration to get to your craft table and do the craft. Look at that, I made a big old mess. Hopefully that'll dry to where it's not as icky looking. I'm going to sit here and worry about this now. You all probably can't even see it on camera. But what happened is what I cautioned you about. My glue came out the sides. But anyhow, so there you go. Let me leave that there if you want to take a screenshot. Well, I take a minute to clean up a few things, and then as promised, I'm going to pull into view the other card. So before I do that, let's just take a peek at what I did. I used the inspiration of this card right here, and using what I have, we created this card, and I think it's just as beautiful. This would have convinced me to buy it as well. Now, this was the second one I did, but take a look at the first one I did. Now, other than the fact that the ornaments are different, and this has 1 snowflake, and that one I doubled up, the big difference was I did some shading because I had the dark, soft, succulent stamping blend, and I thought, let's see if that would make it pop. And to be honest, after I did it, I really didn't like it. I know, I hate that. I mean, you should like what you do. You might like this effect, and I'm glad that I can show it to you, because if it's something you want to do with yours, then you'll know what it looks like. But there you go, that's the finished product. All right, let me stand up and I will enlarge it just a bit. So if you want to take a screenshot, so pardon me if I wiggle the camera. There we go. I think that's better, and then just push that up. So there you have it. That is the very first and very second card that I made from this set. It was designed by, oh, I don't want to get the name wrong, designed by this person, and I gave you that number at the beginning. But apparently it's Elizabeth Craft Designs. It's the Classic Christmas Special Kit. I'm very happy with it. I can't wait to get back and use even more. I definitely want to try some silver snowflakes with the plain silver and then the glittery silver. But I like them. I hope you like them. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, happy stamping.